Hi everyone! Have you ever wondered why people are the way that they are? Why did your ex not seem to care when you guys broke up? Why does your little cousin carry around a little stuffed animal with them wherever they may go? These things could all be described through theories of child development. Things that happen in our childhood that stick with us and affect us for the rest of our lives. These theories affect each and every one of us. We all go through it. And it affects how we encounter other people and how we handle situations. As a fourth-year child development major, I find this to be especially interesting and important because I've studied this the past 4 years. And one day when I have a classroom, I want to be able to visualize these theories with children in my own classroom. One of the most well-known and important theories is developed by Erik Erikson, and it is the psychosocial theory of development. This theory has 8 different stages, and it happens from the moment we are born all the way until the moment we die. We go through different stages, and this pretty much explains why we are the way that we are. The first chunk happens from birth to 5 years old. There are 3 stages during this time that set us up for adolescence. The first stage is trust versus mistrust. This stage happens between birth and 18 months old. This is one of the most, if not the most fundamental stage, because this is when we are given love by our caregivers around us. They nurture us, they feed us, they give us time, they show us emotion and love. And if we have success in this stage, we'll be able to have trust in this world and depend on other people and have healthy, trusting relationships with others. The second stage is called autonomy versus shame and doubt. This happens when we are around 2 to 3 years old. This is when we are learning independence. Toddlers want to do things on their own. They don't want help. This is a picture of a little baby. And as you could see in there, he's pouring 1 cup of water into the other, doing it for himself. He doesn't need anyone else doing it for him. During this stage, children are also potty trained. They are using their bodily functions on their own. And Erik Erikson thought that if a child was able to be potty trained, then you are able to feel the most independent because you have control over yourself. The last stage in the first 5 stages of life is initiative versus guilt. This is in our preschool years. This is when we're interacting with other children around us. We play with children that might not be our siblings or cousins. We're in a large group of children, and it shows power and control through play. Success in this stage leads to a strong sense of self-control and purpose. Although the first 5 years are extremely important in our growth and development, the next 3 stages are taking up the biggest chunk of our lives. The next 3 stages happen from when we are 6 years old all the way until we are 40 years old. The next stage is industry versus inferiority. This happens when we are 5 to 11 years old. This is when we're getting prideful on our accomplishments. We may go to school and get a gold star. We may pull a green card and get a surprise. But when we pull those red cards or we go on timeout, that's when we feel inferior to the people around us. Children need to be encouraged during this stage because the more encouragement children get, the more confident they are in attempting new tasks. Stage 5 is identity versus confusion. This is going to be our awkward teen years. This is when we go through our goth stage. This is when we make one friend one week and lose them the next. We're learning to find ourselves. We're learning what we like, what we don't like, and this is going to form our identity for the rest of our lives. We try new things out. We find new hobbies, new passions, and this is one of the most important stages in my opinion because this is when we become who we are. The last stage in this chunk is stage 6, intimacy versus isolation. This is when we start settling down. We may have finished school. We're meeting new people and finding our partners. We're finding someone that's compatible for us that we will keep on with us for the rest of our lives. Compatible, healthy relationships lead to us feeling secure in this life. Erik Erikson believed that this is one of the most important parts because we need someone there to help guide us and help us grow and accomplish new things in this world. And that's based off of a healthy relationship, whether it be a spouse, a boyfriend, or a really great lifelong friend. The last 2 stages in our lives, maybe for a smaller amount of years, but they're still very important in the reflection of our entire lives. The second to last stage is called generativity versus stagnation. This is when people realize they need to leave a mark on this world. They go and have children. And if they can't have children or don't want children, they make accomplishments and contributions to the world that leave something behind on this world. We need to leave a legacy behind in order to feel fulfilled. Failure to do so in this stage will lead us to feel unproductive. The final stage in life happens when we are approaching death. This is integrity versus despair. This is a reflection on our lives. This is when the elderly start to tell you about all that they've accomplished, all that they've done in this life, and about stories from their childhood to now. This is when we feel the most fulfillment in life. We feel accomplished. We feel like we've left something behind and did something in this world. And failure to do so in this stage leads to regret. This is when a lot of people feel regretful and that their life was unsuccessful. In my speech, I hope that you learned a little bit more about the psychosocial development theory. There's so many different theories, but I find this one to be especially important because it builds off one another and explains our whole entire life. I hope that from my speech, you've learned what it takes to live a happy, successful, and fulfilled life. I appreciate your time, and I hope that my speech allowed you to understand a little bit more why people are the way that they are. Thank you.